All right, folks, it must be Friday because why, Alan?
Because here we are again.
No, you
And-
forgot what I always say. Because it's the time for the Q&A with Alan and
oh,
Marshall show.
exactly.
Right? I only say that every week.
Because it's time for Q&A with Alan and Marshall. So we're here, so it must be time for Q&A.
Very, very, very good, right?
No
So
matter where we are in the world.
I'm Marshall Atkinson.
How the easy way.
And Alan, where are you? It's like, where are you right now? What's that show? Where in the world is Carmen San Diego? Where is Alan Howe?
I am in Russellville, Alabama. So
Yeah, where is that? That doesn't sound like a big city.
it's not. It's maybe if you look, it's in the northwest corner of Alabama. It's about maybe an hour and a half south of Florence, right on the edge of Bankhead National Forest.
Oh, okay, great. And that's a family thing, right?
This is a family thing. Russellville's the closest town with the hotel, so all the family stuff is farther up the mountain in the forest. We call it
In the
so.
forest, right? Because they live in like the cabin.
Pretty much. My mom when she was little, and my grandparents growing up. My great grandmother, I guess, did not have electricity till 1956, and she did not want it. She was when they put it in. They actually got her out of the house and didn't tell her it was going in. And when she came home, there it was. She was not happy. Did not want that in her house.
Because why?
She grew up without it. Why would I need that?
Okay. Hey, that's crazy, but
Yeah.
understandable because new things are scary.
It is. So, yeah.
Hey, cool. Well, hey, welcome to our show, everyone, and happy you're here. And I hope your week is going fantastic. We have a lot of amazing things to talk about today, but here's the thing. It's not about us. It's all about you, right? So if you've got a question, something bugging you, something's not working right in your shop, we want you to put it in the comments so either the two of us or our happy folks following us here today we can solve that problem for you. Let's get that done today. But you got to be brave enough to type it into the comment, right? And the other thing is that we would really love it if you would say hello. We got a whole bunch of people doing that right now. So just comment where you are, what's your shop name, what city you're from, all that kind of stuff. We love seeing that from people because it's fun seeing wherever they are, right?
It is awesome. We get new people coming in.
Yeah, and then lastly, what we want is you to share our show, right? So we want to grow our audience, of course, right? So if you could take 2 seconds and just share that you're online watching right now live, that would be amazing, and we would really appreciate that. So
absolutely.
Anyway, so let's say hey to some folks. So Cindy said good morning about what, an hour ago?
I know we were online backstage before everything went live, and we're talking. We're going, and Cindy's in there already.
Yeah, that's great. And Hurley's here. Good morning.
Chris.
Charles is here. Happy Friday for New Mexico. And Charles, by the way, has already shared some Mid-Journey stuff for my new newsletter. So thank you so much, Charles, for that. You rock. I love it. Ray's here. Good morning. Greetings, Screenlings. Dan's here. Hello, gang from Tennessee. Glenn's here. Hey, guys. It's all about me. Yeah, it's all about you, Ray.
It's always about you, Ray.
Mike?
From California.
Hey, hello from Missouri. Marshall, did you get the Firefly beta yet? I got an invite just now. Was told they let a bunch in today. As a matter of fact, guess what we'll be talking about later today on the show?
Thank you for stealing our thunder, Brian. Gotta love it.
Yeah. There goes my surprise. Brian's one of the guys at Christmas. He carefully peeks through the wrapping paper to see what the box is. Right?
Exactly.
He's that
tells
kid.
Everybody what they're getting.
He's that kid, right? So, all right. And then Corey's here from Extreme. Hey, Corey, good seeing you. Thanks.
From Extreme? Where's Extreme at?
I don't know, but they're extreme.
They're extreme. They're not normal. They're just not average. They're extreme.
They're extreme.
Corey, let us know where you're from.
Yeah. Hey, all right. So what do you say we run our commercial real quick and then we can dig into some stuff?
Let's do that.
All right. So we want to always thank GSG, our sponsor. Really appreciate them. And here we go.
GSG, the combination of over half a century of knowledge with industry-leading technology and the customer at the center of everything that we do. Graphic Solutions Group is a powerhouse distributor of traditional screen, sign, wide format digital printing, embroidery, and textile decorating. We are committed to our customers, providing support, educational, and consulting services. Your success is our success. We've seen these industries grow and change in our 70 years. One thing never changes: GSG's dedication providing the best products and services available. We've been around, we'll be around, from the highs and the lows, standing right here with you. GSG, the right products, right away.
Awesome. We want to thank GSG always, man. What a great sponsor.
Yeah.
We're partners with them.
Yeah. So just noticed some cool things here. Corey is watching from LinkedIn, right?
Yep.
Brian answered my question. Nope, he gives presents while I buy them. He's watching from YouTube.
Yep.
And then our buddy Mark just chimed in. He's also watching from Facebook. We're omni-channel, big time. Don't you love that word, omni-channel?
Omni-channel, more than two, yeah.
He's in town for a few hours. I thought you were in Oklahoma.
What town, Mark? Dallas, Oklahoma?
And then Corey says he's in Granville, Michigan. Dan Lund and Brett Wilson.
Yeah, so I know that shop. Been there. I know Dan and Brett, and been there many times. When I was teasing, they're just not average. They're extreme. They do some incredible work there. So impressive prints. I also know Ben Buzzard, who's in charge of their screen room and stuff. He actually used to work for Sandlot Sport, and then moved over to Grand Rapids and just killing it.
Great. And then our good friend Josh is here. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah.
Is that the new baby?
Look at that. Congratulations.
Great. All right. Hey, so let's kick it off with our first topic, okay, which is chores, right? So I don't know if you guys pay attention to my social media feed or not, but I posted a blog article from Seth Godin, who is probably one of the premier marketing experts on the planet, right? And it's a short blog, and I want to read this, okay? And I'm going to throw it up onto the screen real quick, but I want to read it for emphasis, right? So just take a minute, close your eyes, and listen to the words that I'm saying here, okay? So here we go. Chores, they're essential. The house begins to stink if we don't take out the garbage. But at work, while they might be essential, they may not be important. At least not important enough for us to spend a lot of focus on. Chores are repeatable, proven, low risk, fairly impersonal. The bills have to get paid, but they might not have to get paid by you. Entrepreneurs, artists, and freelancers often spend a lot of time on chores. We justify this because outsourcing chores to others costs money. And in this moment, money is tight. But that's not the real story. The truth is that if we stop doing chores, we have to do the real work instead. The things that aren't repeatable or proven. The things that are emotionally difficult, creatively challenging, or simply requiring exploration and guts to pursue. If we succeed at this work, there'll be plenty of money to pay for the chores to get done. Doing chores cheerfully and with skill is a fine hobby, but it might not be what you need to do right now. Okay, so I thought this was just an amazing article, and that's why I wanted to share it. You can find this at Seth Godin's blog. And by the way, if you want to know somebody who's got some real power, all you got to do is type in Seth, that's it, into Google, and Seth comes up.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're a badass, when you can just use your first name. Okay. You're like Cher or Beyonce or Seth Godin, and it's just Seth, right?
Yeah.
So here's what I want to talk about today is the chores that we do all the time. And most everybody on here is a business owner, but we're constantly doing chores. We're doing the things that we think are going to be done, and we're going to be doing that. And guess what? If you were just to take that chunk of your time out and you replaced it with higher value where you get a better return on that time because you're getting a new customer, or you're learning something, or you're just spending 30 minutes with a pad of paper and a pen thinking about something that you might build in the next 5-6 months, right? That's a better return on your time than you reclaiming those screens, or you posting on Instagram, or you answering the email, right?
Right.
You could be doing things a different way. So I want you to be thinking about what chores that you might be doing that you don't need to be doing. And I would love you guys to throw out some examples of some chores that you feel that you're doing. What'd you do today? What'd you do yesterday? That maybe some software could do, a virtual assistant could do, a better program. Maybe you don't need to do them at all. Why are you even doing that? Right? So a lot of times we just do things because we've always done it this way. Is there a better way of doing something? So just thinking about this stuff, like for example, in our screen room, if we're not, and Alan's a big expert on this, if we don't have the right product, then we got to do something for ghosting or whatever, right? But if we just did it correctly, we wouldn't even have that problem, right? That's an example of chores. So please, Alan, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, but everybody take a minute, just drop a comment. What chores are you doing that you wish you could just outsource and get rid of? And let's kind of have a little discussion about it.
2 points on this that just came to mind. You know, Marshall, you and I talked about this earlier, but as you were talking, there were 2 points. And one is and you hit it a little bit, but it's also in the promo for GSG, the right products at the right time and stuff, and right away. I see and say screen reclaiming. You use the wrong product, whether it be on press or in the screen room, and there is time. You're using a couple more products because you cheaped out or using the wrong process. And those just make extra time, extra process, extra chores. They don't bring any more money, but you've just made it harder for yourself. The other thing is, you know, I love that Seth Godin talks about the biggest chore we always do as guys is taking out the trash. It needs to be done. And I remember, you know, mine and my brother's job was to take out the garbage, not just from the house, but then out to the curb, you know, once a week. And I asked my father one time, I said, Dad, why don't you ever? He looked at us and said, that's what I have kids for. You know what? Could he do it? But yeah, you know what? As an owner of a company, too many times I see owners doing stuff that other people could be doing. I'm glad to see an owner going, hey, I can jump in and help when things are busy. Great. But if you're the one counting in shirts, you can hire people or train people to do that, because there's something going undone that only you can do. Mm-hmm. And that is still that you're not helping, you're actually creating a bigger problem. Those are the first 2 things that came to mind right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and let me tell you, I see a lot of this. I go to shops, I see things, I talk to people, and one of the questions I like to ask is, why are you doing it that way? And
yeah,
most of the time, nobody has a good reason. It's because somebody made that decision 10 years ago, and this is the way we've always done it. And that's what's going on, right? And so doing some new things and kind of really thinking about what you want, what are the outcomes that we want, is something that I think is really important. And anyway, so we would love for you guys to throw some comments in there about that. What chores are you doing, right? And nobody's brave enough to put a comment in right now, so that's kind of
Marshall, you and I talked about something just earlier this week about something to do with the Q&A show, and we were talking. You're going, oh man, you wrote it down. You and I have talked about that. We're not
about creating an Instagram account for this show.
Yeah,
and I still haven't done it.
And you know what?
This day hasn't done it.
And I said I can help. I'll make the time. You go. You know what? You have a VI. You know what? I can have Lyra do it. Because could you and I do it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We are guilty of the same thing of stuff.
It has not been a priority. I have other things that I have to get done. Right. So, so you're right. And I should go ahead and do it. And, or better yet, you could just do it. I mean, why do I have to do it?
Well, I told you. Yeah. I said, let me know. I'll help and do it. But
yeah. But it's like one of these things that we need to get stuff done, and there you go, right?
It falls through the cracks, and you know what? Yeah.
So okay, so hold on, just back up here. So Josh says that's not his kid, still 6 months out. That's his 11-year-old. I guess that's
not so small for 11, don't you think?
Yeah.
That picture.
Sean's here. Happy Friday.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah, and then Josh says we're automating issues. I deal with 10 to 15 a day with all our departments. We're building out full automation now. Love it. Keep down to big issues for me to fix. Good.
Absolutely.
And then Ray says, great to see you yesterday at GST, Josh. Yeah, good. There you go. So
I think they had open house there at Oklahoma. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great. And I love it. I love automating things, right? So process mapping, thinking about what we should be doing. How can we be doing it better? One of the things I've helped a lot of shops with is automating processes and process mapping. I've done that for years and years and years, and just really thinking about things and thinking about the outcomes. Why we're doing something, who's doing it, is there a better tool, is there better chemicals, is there better consumables, is there better equipment? Just really thinking that is such a huge thing, right? Brian says weeding vinyl for signs. It's time consuming and drives me nuts to be doing it, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Is there a different process that you can be doing, Brian? Maybe it costs a little more to get that way, but guess what? If you weren't spending your time weeding vinyl, what's the cost of your time in weeding versus getting it done with a different process? Something to think about.
How about this? Some PSA vinyls, pressure sensitive adhesive vinyls, weed harder than others. Maybe you need to check your vinyl type.
Or the razor blade on your cutter.
Or the blade on the cutter and stuff like that. So there's a couple things.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, so there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, which is a really weird metaphor. Who's skinning cats out there? But
yeah, you shouldn't be doing that.
So just thinking about this stuff is, I think, really a necessary thing. And what happens usually is people don't have time. I don't have time for that. Right. Yeah. And when I hear that, that's code for me that says it's not a priority.
Well, and the other thing is, people are saying, well, I can't afford to do that. And Marshall, I love you're saying you're already paying it. You're already making the payment already.
Yeah.
To do that. And I think more people are noticing this. That's why, and especially in the screen printing sector, the biggest sellers that have been ever since COVID have been everything automation, auto reclaim, auto coding, auto imaging.
Yeah.
And
it's interesting that the last 3 shops I went to all have passports.
Really? Awesome. And passports are M&R's version of auto unloading. How cool is that?
So it's like everybody's using passports. Why are they using passports? Because you don't have to hire anybody.
Yeah. And you know what? They got some other cool stuff coming out in that sector. So stay tuned.
Yeah. And Ray says his cats will put a hurt on you.
Yeah. When you try to skin a cat, it's not good.
Yeah. Josh says we started ordering most of ours from stalls pre-cut unless we have a custom match. We would we would be done with vinyl if we could find an easy way to do DTF numbers.
Well, I think it's a different whether we're talking pre-cut vinyl, which is a heat applied, or I think what Brian's talking about is for signs, which is a PSA, a pressure sensitive adhesive type vinyl. So these are different vinyls too.
Yeah, my employees are bad at it, and I end up recutting a line of vinyl when they do it. We don't do it enough for them to get better. Oh, so what you're saying is you haven't invested the time into training them.
So it's a management issue.
Yeah, so we have skilled or unskilled employees. Which employees do you have, Brian? It sounds like you have unskilled employees.
I love that we have this good relationship with Brian. Well, Brian, thank you for answering your own question. You're the problem.
Oh man!
When you become a host, by the way, make fun of me when I'm gone. You get this.
Yeah, we all know Brian, so that's why if you are watching and it sounds like wow, they're really harsh on that guy, is because
Yep, and like I said, when you become a guest host to fill in for me when I'm gone and make fun of me, yeah, well, I get to take jabs more. So
yeah, it's he's paid the tuition. All right.
Yep. No, we love Brian. He does a great job. Awesome shop. But you know what? Just shows we're always learning.
We're always
and we point the finger back at ourselves all the time.
Yeah. And speaking of learning, okay, our next topic is about that, right? And so it's about being data informed. So I went to a conference a couple weeks ago, the Content Creators Expo. So this is all about, it is your fault, Brian.
It's not our fault.
It's all about making money with content and doing things with content and whatever. And I went to this workshop about understanding metrics, okay, which you would go, wow, that's right up Marshall's alley, right? And I learned a lot during that thing. But one of the things I learned was this phrase, which was being data informed. And I'm going to be using this probably for the rest of my life. There's probably going to be some blogs and stuff that are going to have this in it because it was such a good, catchy phrase. And it's really about being data informed, meaning I've got data, I'm informed on stuff, so now I can make a good decision. And so when we're thinking about our shops, when we're thinking about our business, whether it's production downtime or sales or profit margin or our social media, whatever, right? If we're capturing the data and we're using that data and it's in a format that we can understand, which is usually a spreadsheet, we can use a pivot table, we can graph it, we can do something with it. And we're looking at our data, right? We're data informed. Now we can take that information and we can use our brain, right? And think about, are we in a good place or are we need to improve something? Is all of our work plateaued, right? Or do we need to make a switch, right? And as our good friend Mark Coudray constantly says, right? There's only 3 things that can happen and 2 of them are bad, right? Things can get better, things can get worse, or things can stay the same. Which is it? Pick, right? Your data is going to drive that decision, right? So right now, do you guys feel that you're data informed enough about your business? And so that's kind of a challenge directed at you guys watching, right? So think about how you're looking at your business and whatever you're interested in, your weakest sore spot, the thing that gets you up at night, the things that you're really worried about. Are you capturing the right data to be informed about it so you can make a better decision? That's my question to you. Right. What do you feel about this, Alan? How do you use data with what you do?
Well, my data is always on sales and on numbers. So the things I look at are one big broad brush. Where are my numbers at compared to last year, compared to my goals? I look at that. I can drill down and look going, okay, we're down. I had a distributor ask and say, hey, we're down on this product quite a bit from last year. Are you guys seeing that as a trend? Is it something we're doing? And what we can do is I can have corporate say, where are we at? Are we down on this product? Because if it's a trend, it's going to be, nationwide, and we can go how many gallons have been, per gallons have we done since last year, and we're actually the same. There's been no change on that, so it's not exactly data that I have, but the company has that we can do. So on this product,
it'd be interesting though. So it's remained constant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's what happens. Let's do some marketing. Let's put a post out. Let's make a video about how to use it. Let's do some stuff. And now what you see is a group, right?
Yeah.
That tells you that thing that you just posted worked.
Yeah. And so now when I go back to and report that, now I could have solutions going from our data nationwide. We're seeing no drop in that product. So now what is it there? Where has it been lost? And they'll have that. Where has it been lost at? Is it gone to another customer? Have they switched products? Are they out of business? Whatever. But if you're noticing that drop, and then what can we do to get back? And that's a great thing. I can go to solutions going, what's the marketing? What can I do to help? Do we need to go back and visit these customers?
Right. Here, Ray's got some good comments here. So he says, there are still some problems. You can have tons of data, but what does the data mean or indicate to you? Just ran into this last week. Printed electronics client, tons of data and metrics, but they made the wrong choices with it. So here you go. So this is all about what is the outcome, right? If you're going to plant a flag on top of the mountain, this is what we want, right? This is what we want. How the data can help you make better choices to achieve what you're trying to get at, right?
Right.
If you make the wrong decisions, right, the data should support, well, that's a wrong decision. Look, it didn't change or it got worse. That means it was wrong, right? The data informs us that it's wrong, and now we can stop doing whatever that was and go a different direction, right? So you're going to make wrong choices, right? We all make mistakes. I make mistakes. Alan, you ever made a mistake?
Once, but
once.
Once I made a mistake, but you know what? I made a bad decision. So you know what I did? I changed it. I made another decision. And and we all make mistakes. And you know what? What if I think sometimes the fear of I'm not sure what to do, so I become paralyzed. I do nothing.
Yeah, well, fear is an acronym. You know what it stands for?
You've told me before. And
false evidence appearing real.
Yep. And so
in our brain, we go, I'm not going to call on that customer because they'll say no.
Yeah.
Right? Why do we know that?
What this is where sarcastic Alan is not one of my better traits of stuff. I'm looking at him going, excuse me, Luke Skywalker, using the Force, you know this?
Sarcastic Alan.
Yeah. Things when I say it's not that I don't trust this person. No, wait, yeah, that is it. Which I have done in a meeting. Marshall's been there and it cracks him up. But you know what? Sometimes our fear paralyzes where we don't do anything. And, my thing is make a decision. It's the wrong one. Then make another one.
Yeah. Well, you can always change, right? But what you have to do is you have to move forward, right?
Absolutely.
A lot of times we don't need perfection. Like what's the General Patton quote? A plan violently executed today is better than a perfect plan that starts next week.
Yep, absolutely.
Right, and so we just need to do stuff. Right, it's the action.
If I have a plan and I hit 90% of it, all right, cool deal.
Right. Ray said,
if I only hit 10% of it, as I'm into it, going, what do I need to change, or do we need to scrap this? Going, boy, wasn't that stupid? Let's go a different direction.
Yeah. So Ray says, ooh, yes, what are you trying to achieve? That is the first question. I think it's the most important question. Right?
Yep.
What's the expectation? What is the outcome that we want? Right? This could be with whatever, right? Name your thing, right? And what are we trying to do? What's our goal, right? And here's the thing. You might not know how to get there. Okay?
Right.
That's when you do research. That's when you bring in a consultant, you talk to a mentor, you talk to your supply chain, you talk to your customers, you talk to your employees, right? We
Mhm.
want to gather the evidence, and that is going to help us formulate a better plan, right? We're using data, right? And formulate a better plan, and then we can make an informed decision about what to do.
Yeah.
And how many people do the ready, fire, aim approach?
Yeah.
So here you go, Josh. More jobs per day, less dead loss, happier employers. Okay, maybe happier employees. Happier employers is him, right? But we want happier employees.
That's his goal. As long as Josh is happy, it doesn't matter. No.
Well, yeah, I'm sure Josh wants to be happy, right?
Absolutely. But you know what? You have happy employees. You have more jobs per day, less dead loss. Employees are going to be happy. He's going to be happy.
Right. Okay. Cool. Well, hey, good comments. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
I think right now we want to talk about our sponsor a little bit, right? And we want to show the new Pulse magazine, right? So this is here on page 26. They have a whole array of DTG equipment, right? And I think this is something that a lot of people are still interested in. I know a lot of people talk about DTF. I think DTG still has its place in the market, and I still see it when I go to shops. People are still cranking on DTG, and especially if you're doing online stores. DTF is good for that, but DTG is really good for that as well. And of course, GSG has a whole bunch of options here for DTG equipment, right? And
yeah, absolutely. Between
so if you're interested in that, check them out. Just go to gogsg.com, click on their banner, and you can get the Pulse magazine. And right here on page 26, you can see some stuff. But you're going to need to call them and the 800 number. Let's see if I can zoom in.
Or you can go to gogsg.com. Send an email.
There's our 800 number right there, 800-366-1776. And you can learn all about DTG for your shop. And I'm sure somebody there would love to talk to you.
And then they can do not just for the unit of one, but for high volume stuff. When you have a pot of GTXs there working off of one dryer with the software, it is incredible for the unit of one.
So let me tell you, when I was in the M&R Accelerate event, they printed a mid-journey design that we created on the fly with the new Polaris. That's been out for a couple of years now. But let me tell you, it was really impressive. And the hand on that shirt is really awesome. It doesn't really feel so much like a DTG print. It wasn't thick at all. The color really popped. It was just a really nice thing, right? And I'm sure GSG would love to sell you a Polaris.
Absolutely. Or a brother, whichever one you need.
And so this thing prints, 240, 260 an hour or something like that, right? So where every shirt is completely different, and they've got barcode scanning and all kind of amazing processes. The technology has really evolved, and I think that's something that if you're doing a lot of that stuff, you might be thinking about. Right? So,
absolutely.
All right. So,
every time we do the Pulse or we do something with GSG, I'm still just amazed at the amount of equipment and hardware they sell in stock. I watched through an old video of Mark Soldonic going through the warehouse of how much M&R equipment is in stock and what they bring in. And it's not just with M&R, but they do with Brother and Epson and everybody. It's just incredible. So they're just a powerhouse.
Right. All right. Well, hey, let's jump to our topic. And this is where Brian Bufka stole our thunder.
Exactly. Go ahead, Brian. Tell us about it.
We want to talk about Adobe Firefly, which, hey, I'll come clean. I just got invited yesterday. I've only played around with it for 15 minutes. Okay. I am not an expert, but I wanted to show it off a little bit. So I asked to join the beta, I don't know, a couple weeks, month ago, whatever it was. And I felt like, how like that happening bar where they got the muscle dude at the door and you're in
Right.
line and you can't get in and you want to get in and you're wondering what's going on inside. That's how I felt.
Other people are getting in.
Yeah.
You're not cool
How I
enough.
felt, right? So earlier today, if you check out my Instagram, I posted these, but I wanted to kind of show, right? So I designed this in Midjourney, okay, which is, of course, I got my newsletter. I've been playing around with it every day. I wanted to see what the Firefly, which is Adobe's artificial intelligence based thing, would produce. And then this is the Adobe Firefly version. Okay, so let's compare. Here's Midjourney. Here's Firefly with the same prompts, exactly the same. It's a nice looking frog. I mean, Alan, you said you even like this one kind of better.
I like it because it's more original on it, but I didn't know what your prompts were. I'm a little freaked out that there's 72 toes on the front leg.
Yeah, well, here's the prompt. Ask for it to be, let's review, isolated, meaning there's nothing else.
Yeah.
Black background, vivid color.
Yeah.
And I used a crazy term, which is called jungle punk. Okay, which it's just let's go nuts, right? And I got a kind of a normal looking frog. I guess jungle punk could mean like 100 toes, but it didn't have a black background, which was one of the requirements. Also to note, Firefly is in beta, and it comes with this great watermark down here in the corner. Okay, and so this was my first attempt. I haven't done, full disclosure, I haven't done anything else with it. So I just wanted to show that. But I wanted, look, there's my kid. I wanted to show, where did it go?
Marshall, put that back up if you can. So here's my thing, and I'm by far not an expert on this. I've never even played with it. The things I noticed once Marshall told me what the prompts were where I noticed the black background was not black. It was not isolated. I think on the prompts, if that's jungle punk, if that's not vivid color, I think the green's vivid. They could have done more vivid up on the spots.
Yeah.
And I don't consider that isolated. Too much of the log or the rock that he's on. But it's a beta, so they'll get there.
Yeah, well, I'm playing around with it. I didn't re-roll it. I didn't do anything, right?
Right.
But
So,
what I wanted to show also was some cool stuff, right? So one of the things they have here is the bail, and again, we're just playing here, is you can use text effects where it imports some things into some word letters, right? I typed in Alan, it could be anything. And I typed in fishing because, Alan here likes to fish. But I also, let's type in monkeys. And it gives you monkeys, right? And, of course, they give you a couple selections, whatever, right? I liked those kind of look cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. What's another word we can type in here? How about Michigan? What do you think Michigan will come up with? Who knows? Right?
Awesome.
We don't know. So there you go. That's how it sees Michigan.
Which you said that's what it does when it's not sure what to put in.
It's just going to put some crazy stuff, right? And so how about we do fruit? Right? And maybe it'll be apples and bananas and stuff. I don't know, right? It can do anything. It's kind of fun. That looks kind of cool, actually, right?
I like that, yeah.
Maybe I like this one better.
If it was the grocery store.
Yeah. So anyway, so what I thought I'd do is I would show you also the text effect prompt, right? Not the text effect, but the actual kind of text to generate text to image, right? And so in the comments, if you guys want to just drop in something, I'll go ahead and type it in and then we can kind of do a live demo kind of thing, right? And so type in whatever you want. And while we wait, I'll just have Alan do it because there's like a 20-second delay here. Alan, what do you want to see?
Let's do.
Name an animal, quick. Just don't overthink it.
Snake.
Snake. What's the snake doing?
Playing a piano. Ooh.
Playing a piano.
In a saloon.
Huh?
In a bar.
In a bar. All right. Here we go. Generate. Now.
Can a snake play a piano? It has no hands and fingers.
I don't know. There you go.
I like it.
This is the art version of it. There's also there's buttons that you can pick, right? So let's do a photo, which would be a more realistic thing, right? And it's thinking. So this one gave the snake hands.
I like that one.
Yeah. This one gives a two-headed snake. What if we did graphic? What is it going to come out as? So this is how, when you get stuff like this, you just kind of goof around with it, right?
Yep.
I kind of like the photo better. And then you can do styles. I don't know. What does themes do? Right?
What if we change instead of just generic like snake? What about rattlesnake?
Oh, sure.
Same. So while you're doing that, Marshall, we had a couple people say some things.
Okay.
Here's, Michigan is an Indian name, and it looks to be referencing Indian icon. Michigan is an Indian name. Are these designs high enough resolution to screen print? Good question.
I don't know. I haven't downloaded them, but I will tell you that I use Gigapixel to upscale stuff, and that takes any low res stuff. Like the stuff I do for Midjourney all goes through Gigapixel because that's going to make it a 300 DPI file at a decent size for printing. So I would recommend that. There's also some free upscalers, like Upscaler is the name that's free. I like Gigapixel just because if you pay for their product, that's one thing. But if it's free, you are their product, and I don't know who I'm being sold to, so that's why I pay. So anyway, so I don't know, anything about Firefly. It looks really interesting, but I do like Midjourney seems to come out better. Now, here's the difference between Midjourney and Firefly. All the Adobe stuff, they're using the Adobe universe to pull the images and the ideas and the colors and the photos and all that from. Okay, that's where that's coming from. So they have their own stock library for photos. They have got their own art. They got all that stuff. That's where that's coming from. Midjourney uses billions of images that are just out there on the internet, and also text to image pairs to pull from. It's not actually using somebody's artwork as the direct source. It's just using what it sees out there, and it's just scraping that and it's throwing it into it. So if you're concerned about where the images come from, maybe Firefly is more for you, because you know that you don't have to worry about copyright stuff because you're going to be paying Adobe for that, right? And you'll be able to use it. Currently, you can't use any of this Firefly stuff for commercial purposes because it's in beta. So you're really just playing with some ideas, right? So anyway, I think the thing to think about here is just your use case. Yesterday, I was playing around with uploading my own photo and then using Midjourney to push some results out. Okay. So my source material is the photo, and I'm applying watercolor to it or whatever I'm doing. Okay. It's just playing around with my material. So that's what I think a lot of people might be using it for. I know there's artists that what they're doing is they're uploading a photograph or a painting that they do to Midjourney and then doing something with it and then downloading it and then putting it into Photoshop and then changing it again and then putting it back into Midjourney. And they're doing several iterations of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that is how they're creating their digital art, right? It's just a tool. This is just a tool. Midjourney is just a tool. We'll see where this goes, right? And so anyway, I just kind of wanted to share that. Would love y'all's thoughts on it. Got some good comments here.
Got a bunch.
So Jitendra's here again.
From India. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, it's really late in India, so thanks.
Yeah.
Hurley says wild textures on fonts. You already showed the thing with Mark. Glenn says, thanks, I'll have to jump off. See you later, Glenn. When customers send these 3-inch JPEGs, these AI are usable. He's laughing. Okay. And then Mark says Firefly Max resolution is 2000 by 2000 pixels. Yeah. So if that's not good enough for you, you can use a tool like Gigapixel and really just kind of blow it up and clean it up a little bit. Right. So anyway, let's do another photo thing. Let's just say it's a 57 Chevy down by the levee.
We missed a couple of account things up top that I missed. Glenn says I like McAfee's and Enterprise 2.0. I'm not sure what that's about.
Me either, but that's okay.
That's all right. Throwing my fingers off at the moment. Please keep your fingers, Cindy.
Dramatic lighting, and we want shot from above.
So here's what Charles says. I started playing around with Firefly a couple days ago. Haven't used it much yet, but so far I've had better results with Midjourney. Who like the platform of Firefly and the different options they have available for making customizations to images? What do you find, Marshall?
Well, it's just about what they're doing is they're guiding you through clicking buttons. That's how I'm doing it right now, right? I found if you want that same type of, you like that better, I found a free platform called Noonshot, NOONSHOT.com, which pushes this type of thing into Midjourney for you. I played with it the other day, and I'm like, okay, well, that seems like an extra step. Why would I use that when I could just type it into Midjourney? But I know some people like that kind of thing, so go at it, right? So anyway, so here's the 57 Chevy down by the levee, which is American Pie, right?
Yes.
And then I don't know if I like those. Let's just re-roll it.
I don't like either of those.
Yeah. So let's do this. Let's compare live. Here's Midjourney. Let's go to my server. And we'll type in imagine 57 Chevy down by the levee. Make sure it's exactly the same because that's our control, right? By the way, I was playing around with Midjourney above, and I took a picture of the M&R Polaris when I was in at their plant at that Accelerate event, and I was playing with the picture to what happens if I want to make a machine rendering of that photo? And this is me using a picture playing with Midjourney, right? So I can already tell Midjourney is going to have a better image. It's not finished yet. So, so like anything, you got to play with it. It's a tool. It's just like a hammer. Okay. So how are you using it? What are you doing? What's going on? All we always said was 57 Chevy down by the levee.
Yeah.
Right. That's all we said. We didn't say house. We didn't say tree. We didn't say sunset. We didn't say any of this stuff. Right. So if you're an art director and you're trying to do something, right? Which one says I'm down by the levee more? Right?
Neither of them.
The first one, does that look like, I don't know, what does the levee look like? It's a mound of dirt right next to water, right? Maybe that's the first one in the upper left. Maybe it's the lake one down here in the lower right. I don't know, right? And I would probably re-roll it a little bit, maybe a couple times. But I know between this one and this one, which way are you leaning?
I don't like any of them in Firefly.
Okay, let's re-roll it. Maybe it takes a minute. Maybe we didn't pick the
key word is 57 and levee, and I'm not liking any of them. I'm not liking them.
Well, he asked for a vibrant color too. Maybe we do a warm tone, and we do golden hour. Maybe that, so we can choose our prompts better, right? Maybe the Firefly just doesn't have great pictures of 57 Chevys.
Right.
So anyway, here's and then if we re-roll Midjourney, we'll see what we get. Let's be fair. Maybe he doesn't know what a levee is. You're exactly right. Sure. And that's a problem with this stuff, is that sometimes it's the word choices you use can give it a different result.
And a levee can mean, in different parts of the country, can mean anything. It can mean a slough. It can mean a dam. It could mean a real levee. It can mean a butt.
Well, I was being funny.
Yep.
So anyway, here's the results. I just kind of wanted to show you guys. I know a lot of people haven't signed up for these accounts yet. I think that this is AI image we're going to turn the corner in this industry where people are going to be using this to create artwork. It's going to save you tons of time. You have to learn how to use it. It's still playing with it. Hold on. It's going to save you tons of time, right? And here's the big picture of that. I think it understands what a levee is because there's water involved here.
Right.
So here's the lower left one. That could be somewhere in New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, here's the results. We just kind of wanted to throw that out there. I'm still going to be playing with Firefly. I think it's got a lot of really super positive things. They also have a way to play around with vector art, which of course Midjourney doesn't do. I haven't played with a Firefly with that yet. So, and of course, having everything in the family of Adobe, if you're an Adobe art person, right? You're using the same platform and not switching. Maybe there's some positive things with that. So I think the jury's out on all of this stuff. I think what you need to do is to play with it and see what works with you and your shop and how you work and your goals and how you do things more than anything. So
it gives you another tool in your toolbox.
Yeah, it's just a tool in a toolbox. That's all it is, right?
Yep.
It's not something to be scared about. I think it's something that you need to jump in and play with. You need to learn how to use it. I would be doing lots of experiments. I'm trying to do at least one a day, right?
Right.
And if you looked at my Instagram for the past, I don't know, week or 10 days or so, you've seen one thing a day I've posted. I'm trying to do different things. I'm using different prompts. One of the things I've also done was I made a spreadsheet of the prompt words I'm using, and I'm at like 210 or 215 or something like that of different prompts I've actually tried out. And then what I do is I write what happened. And so this is how I'm learning to use it.
Mm.
There's plenty of prompts that you can, there's millions out there, right? And if you just, oh, look at all these prompts, that's really cool, you have to apply it, right? So a thing to do that I've done is just to pick one subject, right? Whatever it is. I use skulls, just, skulls. And then I apply the prompt word to that to see what happens to the skull. It could be a tomato. It could be a 57 Chevy. It could be whatever you want. And that's how you learn what happens when you apply that prompt to that word choice, right? So, all right. So we got some good comments. Maybe there's no Olivia's. Yeah, we did that. Dan says at 72 DPI, it comes out to 6.6 at 300, which is 50% of a 12 by 12 per usable receipts, more than many that are already being sent to printer. Yeah, I agree with that. And very good for DTF and DTV. You're exactly right. Thanks. Cindy says, I'm going to make a comment about your sponsor. I had a customer bring in an order. They specified Madeira thread. I use another brand. Thankfully, GSG carries Madeira also. So there you go. Thanks, Cindy. I appreciate that. I'm sure GSG loves hearing that comment. And then Brian says, Firefly should improve with use from the public. Midjourney has been in beta longer. Exactly. Absolutely. In fact, I don't even think Midjourney's in beta anymore since it's no longer free.
Right.
So, they're charging for it, right? So anyway, so that's where we are with that. And did we have a last comment? Oh, yeah. We never really got around to this.
No, but never did, but
we'll just throw it out there. So I know a lot of people are hiring right now, and a lot of people are having employee retention problems right now. So I wanted to throw this out there for today, which is about what is it like to work for you?
Yep.
Right? Do your employees, like when they go home at night and somebody says, hey, honey, how was your day? Are they giving a really positive, like, yeah, today was awesome story? Or is it like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe what so-and-so did, right? What story are they telling?
How about, Marshall, also, what's it like for that new employee that first day? How are they welcomed? How are they feeling after that first day?
Yeah, right. You only get one first day,
yep.
Right? So at the end of that day, what happens? When they go home and their spouse or their parents or their brother or sister or their best friend goes, man, how was your first day on the job? Do they go, I guess it
boring, I don't know what, and all that? Yeah. So I think, first days are tough for the employer and the employee. Because as the employer, you got stuff going, you got to get production on and all that. But for the new guy, he's in a new world. He's not quite sure what's going on. I think there needs to be a plan for him. What are you going to have him do? Are you just going to say, here, follow this guy, learn it as you go? Or
yeah, right. So do they have an email address already? Do they already have a login to the computer? Do they already have the team swag that in their size ready for them? Do you take them to lunch? Do you make sure that they have a good day? What are you doing that's going to create a positive experience for them? So with when they go home or next week, when somebody asks a question, they have a positive comment about it, right?
Are they aware before you hired them, when you did, of how they're going to start? Are they starting in the screen room? Are they starting on press? Are they starting on customer service? Has this been discussed, or it's just like, just show up, we'll find something. We just need people.
Yeah, right. So I think, it's all about the intent. What's the outcome that you want?
Yep.
What are the expectations that you have for them, but maybe they have for you, right? So if I'm a new employee that's coming to work, I want today to really go well.
Right.
Right? I'm worried. I've got fear that I won't remember something, or I won't know what to do, or you'll judge me because I make a mistake, right? Because I don't know how to do whatever I'm supposed to be doing yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to assuage that fear somehow by giving it, hey, it's okay. You're new. You know, let me know. Give me a handbook. Give me a video to watch. Let me try. Let me put my hand in there. Let me, I don't know how to do it. It's okay that you didn't do it right. It's perfectly okay.
How about this? If they are passed off to a person to shadow, does this person know what's happening? Is this person someone that can train, or is this guy just going to be threatened by someone else coming to try to take his job?
Exactly. Are they a grumpy grump monster?
Yeah.
So anyway, just we didn't really fully get into have time to share this with everyone today because I think the AI thing went a little long. But anyway, so be thinking about that. Would love any comment. Corey has got a question. Let's get to that before we go. So we have 2 screening questions. What's your recommendation for EOM for water-based and discharge screens?
How about and then the other one too?
And then do you see a lot of shops using the ISO these days, or has there been a shift?
So first thing on there, it depends on what the recommended EOM. I'm still going to say 15%, 10 to 15% EOM for discharge screens. If it's water-based, it could be different. You might want to go a little bit lower if you're going to a higher mesh count, but a bigger mesh opening on there. You're going to want the key part is going to be you're really just going to want a good, hard, solid screen. So are you seeing a lot of shops using diazo these days? I wish more would. Diazo can actually help make your screen sharper and give you, but it depends on what light source you have. If the best thing for water-based screens and discharge screens are still a metal halide, you're going to get a deeper, stronger cure. Now, with an LED light at 405 nanometers, you will get a cure. It can use diazo, it'll help lock it up some, but I suppose to expose it more. If you have the right light source of a metal halide, diazo is still your best way for water resistance and durability and for detail, I believe, because it gives it a longer latitude. I hope that answers it in a nutshell.
There you go. Good job. And
Corey, have you taken over the screen room? Is Ben still in charge? You can let me know because I do need to come over that way. I live in Davison, Michigan, on the other side of the state, so I do need to come over next week in that part. So you can email me. Is my email up there somewhere, Marshall?
You should just do it anyway.
Yeah, right there. Email me there, Corey. I'd love to talk to you and see what we can do. And he's watching on LinkedIn also. Follow me on LinkedIn and message me there if you'd like.
Yeah, right. Great. All right, everyone. Well, hey, have a fantastic weekend. We really appreciate you spending some time with us today. If you're watching this as a recording, please like and share and drop a comment. We would love to see that. And we'll catch you next week. So
absolutely.
See ya.
Have a great week, everyone.